I'm intending to get the frame down to it just being a rolling chassis so I can take it outside to give it an even better clean. If you're following this playlist, you'll know it's a T140V, recent import. We had a bit of fun dirtying it up. Now we've got its clothes off, it looks even dirtier underneath, so maybe it had been cleaned before it was sent out. Not to worry. I've had the engine out and I've got a problem with my cylinder head, and if you've been following along you'll know that the cylinder head is still stuck. Interesting though, when I measured the pistons and the bore last time, I discovered that the measurements are just slightly understandard. Now that actually is just perhaps a vagary of my measuring equipment, the temperature on the day and everything, but they are very close to standard, and it does look like there's perhaps a 3.5 thou clearance for the pistons in the bore, so it looks like they're usable, and with a torch down the bore they actually look quite good, you know, no worries really about using those bores, so it's worth putting some effort into. It's also worth mentioning the pistons, on the top of them, they have a H stamped. Now, the H, I believe, was a factory standard stamp where they graded barrels and pistons so they could put them together when they were building. They didn't sit there and measure them all as they were going. They'd measure all the pistons, grade them, measure all the barrels. So, the fact that it's that, it looks like they could be standard. However, the bike has obviously got a lot more miles on it, and the engine number and frame number match. So there's some really interesting story here that I'll never know, but I'll be able to make some stuff up. I've still got to solve the cylinder head problem, and thanks for all your comments about that. The intelligent money would be on getting an engineering shop to drill out all of the studs, and it probably will come to that. I haven't got an engineering company that I know that I can get to do that kind of work in any kind of near distance that I could get to. You have to forgive me if you're in America. I consider near distance less than 50 miles. You might consider it 2 days driving, not to worry. So what I'm going to do while I'm working on other stuff is I think I'm going to put it in a bath of paraffin to see if the paraffin works its magic and gets in there. So I'm going to leave that for the time being. Let's get this bike stripped down so I can get it outside now. To make it easier to fit in a bucket that I've found, I'm going to take the inlet stubs off. I'm not sure if you can see in there, but actually it doesn't look bad at all, it's quite clean. So I've put the paraffin so it's above the join where the cylinder head is, and obviously it's also in the combustion chambers. And I'm just going to leave it like that now for a week or two because I'm not going to be doing anything with this part of the engine. You never know, it may do something, it may not. Paraffin's a very light oil. Obviously I'll have to seal the top because I don't want fumes from paraffin getting everywhere. I'm going to start at the back end, so first of all I'm going to pull it out and lift it up a little bit. That should make it easier to work on. Yes, it's that alarm clock again. Ha! And that calls time on the rear mudguard. The next thing I'm going to take off is the battery box, which has got the coils and the reservoir for the rear brake. They're on rubber mounts and there's 3 of them. They're a bit fiddly. I suspect I won't get much video of this. There's a nut on one end and a flat-headed on the other. The 3 mounts are a little bit less of a kerfuffle than I expected, because they all unscrewed quite easily. There we go. Right then, pick up all the bits that fall on the floor and undo some of this wiring. That's virtually everything from the back. This is all held by this wiring, so what I'll do now, lower it down, have a look at the headlamp, start taking the wiring out there, and this should come through. I've seen worse. Right, that's going to be a bit of a conundrum to get out, but I'm sure I'll do it. I'll be honest, I did think I might need to get the wire cutters out, but in reality I didn't even have to take my gloves off. I did manage to get all of that out of the correct hole. Now you may wonder why I've not taken loads of pictures. Well, I've already got pictures of this kind of thing already, but I have no intention of using this wiring. I've already got a replacement for it, so that'll be exciting to see. But you'll have to wait. Let's see about getting these clocks off. Not quite sure what size this is. Oh, nice and loose. I think these just come loose and they haven't got the spring behind them, but we'll find out. Or will it get stuck behind the handlebars? I think it just unscrews. Certainly doesn't feel like it's got any spring pressure on it. I remembered that you can't pull all the headlight wiring through the frame, you have to undo this end, so I'm just unplugging everything. So literally just unplug everything and then pull these grommets out, which you won't be for pulling. There's one. No, that's not for playing, but I'm sure it will. There we go. So that's the coils. Next the horn. Or remove the accelerator cable or the throttle cable so that it's not in the way for the wiring to come through. Some always gets away. That's as far as I'm stripping it for now. I'm going to put the back wheel on. Maybe I'm getting old and weak, but this works really well. Roll it out. That was easier. While it's outside, I'm going to bag up everything that I think I want to bag up from the bits that I've taken off, and I'm going to really bite the bullet, and stuff that I'm never going to use and I'm never going to sell, I'm going to tip. So hopefully I'll be strong with that. I'm a little bit surprised about how much gunkiness there is in this area, so to speak. I'm sure it'll clean up well and not be a problem whatsoever. Once I've done that, I'm going to get it back in, strip the final bits off, and then really start to work on the frame. I was thinking of having it powder coated, but I think I am going to paint it. It's all in my control then. I don't need to worry about grit in the oil tank or anything like that. If there's any there, it's me that's done it. So if you want to see what happens next and whether I do get this frame painted, why not subscribe? But no matter what, thank you very much for watching.